I was like in an episode of Miami Vice with a helicopter and a motorcycle. All right, you ready? What up, is Out of Sight, and you're kicking it off the wall with Home Base and Hot Mop Films.
Reminisce like sheet rock when I heard a beat knock through the sheet rock from my first spirit daughter to my last bit of Reebok. La 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 la. Yeah. Reminisce like sheet rock when I heard a beat knock through the sheet rock from my first spirit daughter to my last bit of Reebok.
Yep, Yonkers, New York. That's the 914. If you are good and are able to create a buzz using internet, doing viral work, building in your city, doing shows, you know, and having good records, you can truly do it yourself now more than ever. And I'm seeing it. I'm seeing it with young cats. I mean, you and I from Cali. You mentioned they're really dope to me, and like they do it on the indie side, and like, you know, it's just like that type of model. Or you know, I've seen other artists like Mickey Factz is another guy who really did it himself. But I like his movement is just crazy to me. Like it's just so dope. So I just think like those are the type of people that you want to look at, and you can do it without all that people trying to change what you do creatively or change who you are, because it happens. A lot of labels, especially when I first started, wanted me to just sing. You know, they wanted like Robin Thicke Light or some shit, but I couldn't do it. Yeah, not me. So, Six and I actually, we linked in December. It seems like I've known him for years, to be honest. We met through a mutual friend, an artist, and we live close. We're both music geeks and just like making records constantly, excuse me. And so we just linked up to work on my album, and you know, we just had good chemistry and making music, so that's how it goes. And honestly, now we just roll around together, and we're just two funny-looking white guys who do hip-hop. So yeah, really, like those two guys, Cook and Six, are like, we have an ill chemistry. We all kind of work off each other, so it's been cool. And I like the idea of coming in the game with new cats, because it's like a new sound. So like people aren't, you know, so accustomed to it. You know what I mean? It's something a little bit fresh. So, talk to Mick and Terry Irvin. Shouts to Terry Irvin. They were with it. And then, you know, Mick is just a man. Like anytime I go and see Mick spin in New York, he'll always spin a record of mine, and this is dope. You know, they had me on their show. I mean, they're just really supportive of, you know, artists trying to come up. It's called Brand New Day Sessions, and basically the inspiration behind it is Miles Davis Kind of Blue. I was originally supposed to release an album in the summer, but just because of just trying to make sure that the distribution and the machine behind it is correct, you know, I had a little bit of time, and I just, you know, I get a lot of people hit me up and they want new music, and you know how it is now, like everybody wants new music constantly in a sense. So, you know, I'm not gonna leak records every day, but I figured it'd be a good time to drop a project for the fall. I'll have some records that I leaked that were kind of like out in the open, and then some exclusive stuff, just, you know, to have people know that I'm not sleeping, you know, sleeping at the job. And yeah, people deserve it. I mean, I get a lot of really good support, you know, and so it's the least I can do. I know that the music I'm doing is definitely reaching people. I get positive responses all the time. I get great support, so, you know, I'm so appreciative of that. And listen, my music's not for everybody. You don't like it? I mean, there's so much other music for you to listen to, so it doesn't bother me. You can't take it personal. Music industry, rule number like 411, don't take anything personal. So yeah, to me, originality is a strong key, because you can hear so many people doing the same thing, and like just because the mode or the prototype is successful, you know what I mean, whether it's singing auto-tune to now, you know, rapping like a certain person because that person is popping, so now all of a sudden you're full of metaphors or whatever the hell you're doing. I mean, to me, just being original, you know what I mean, just constantly trying to challenge yourself, and that's what I'm trying to do always, you know what I mean, and take the sound as far as you could possibly go. I think that's the funnest thing about doing music. It's just, there's no limits to what you actually can do, you know what I'm saying? Probably be writing. Yeah, I've always loved to write, creative write, so I mean, that's what I wanted to do beforehand, so either that or politics. I used to care. You know, I used to think you can make a difference. I still can, but I'm trying to make a difference with music instead of politics, because politics sometimes is a vicious circle, but I was a poli-sci major, so yeah. Yeah, politics in the music industry suck, but it is what it is, and it ain't what it ain't. That's what I say. Just, you know, like, I listen to the radio and it's just like slamming your head against the wall, and it's like, it's crazy because there's so much dope music out there that you don't have to listen to the radio, but there's so much dope music out there you would think maybe it starts sneaking into the radio. So it's funny how it works. I would definitely love to be like in the studio with Stevie Wonder in like the mid-1970s. I think that would be incredible. Or how about just sitting in as a player in like the Voodoo sessions with D'Angelo? Like, to me that would just be incredible. Like, I just like love being surrounded by music, so definitely be in that type of realm. Yeah, that Stevie one though would be crazy. In the 70s, I mean, he was the dude. And our generation especially, I always say it because like we're the first generation that kind of like, we grew up when it'd be like Nirvana and then like Weezer and then like Wu-Tang Clan, so it's just like a smorgasbord of music. And yes, I said smorgasbord, but you know, so influence is everywhere, inspiration is everywhere, especially musically. So I laugh. I mean, I think it's funny because honestly, the more haters you got, usually the more fans you got, in a sense. You know, it's funny because a lot of times people who don't know me will not feel it. Like, they'll see the picture, like me with the glasses and like a suit, and be like, "Get the hell out of here with this guy." And then if they listen, they might like it, they might not. But if you see me rock live, you gonna respect it. Like, I've rocked, like, we used to rock all the time in a place called Sputnik in Brooklyn, and like to some of the most hood, arms crossed crowds of all time. Seriously, just people just looking at me like, who and what do you think you're gonna do? And I never had an issue. Seriously, you know, I give it my all, so I think there's gonna always be a respect for that. You know what I mean? Fine wine and cheese. You know, I don't smoke. I do drink. I like good food and good booze. So I guess those are vices in the overall grand scheme of things. But who doesn't? Yeah. Honestly, I just need some water usually. But I mean, realistically, I'm all about preparation before I go to the studio. And it's funny because the more I prepare, usually the less that I prepare for happens. You know what I mean? The more you plan, the less it actually happens. But I try and stay prepared just in terms of harmonies and ideas. And then usually it'll metamorphosize into something different. But to me, it's just going in there, having like a main idea, a main key, and like building around it. And then it usually does. I don't want to sound like arrogant, but like if you honestly just Google me at this point, you will find so much stuff. That's a little arrogant, yeah. No, but yeah, I mean, you can go on my MySpace page, but who the hell uses MySpace anymore? But, you know, MySpace has records of mine, and you can download stuff, and that's myspace.com. I am out of sight. I have my own website called iamoutasight.com. You know, you can follow me on Twitter. I ramble constantly on Twitter, so that's good, you know, just the inner workings. So, what up? This is Out of Sight. And just saying peace. You just was rocking Off the Wall with me and Home Base and Hot Mop Films. Let's go. I was gambling on that, and I've always enjoyed like the hands, the idea of power with the hands. Like, so like Jean Grey, although she's a female, yeah. I mean, like I said, don't take anything personal. Keep your circle tight. For real. Tina, what's for dinner? That's my interview twang. You know, I'm trying to like keep it like really like, hey. Yeah, I think it's the microphone. I'm just a very big Wu-Tang fan in general, so it kind of like invokes a feeling of like when I was growing up listening to hip hop, and Wu-Tang was like the shit. You know what I mean? So just that head knocking shit. You know what I mean? And it's really dope.
Yeah, something really changed from the way I walk, where I talk, brand new day. An admiration and hating have a very thin line of separation. Either way, you a part of the conversation. So my dialect original, language untainted.